But by the same token, like the lighthouse doesn't cry about, a boat that turns away. The lighthouse is going to sit there and keep being the light. And so we're going to have people in our path that, man, they turn away and say, hey, this isn't for me. Good to go. I'm excited for you. But what I can tell you is that I'm going to continue being me day in, day out, and spreading the message of anyone can do this. This is achievable. It's not made up. And once you get that first check for $1, you'll become addicted.
That's a fact. And when you say first check, you're referring to first check from specifically real estate or whatever content you created that gave you an amount of money?
Yeah. I mean, it can be. I'm currently sitting in my brand new bar, and so my focus for the next couple months is going to be on this business, and so you have to be able to pivot between them. I think the real estate market is going to be fire hot at the beginning of the year, but until that wave hits, we're going to be overpriced just a little bit, and so I backed off my real estate for now. We still have that passive income coming in, but right now I'm focusing on some businesses.
And I have a first question from a fan. How many streams of income do you presently have? And how many would you advise for up and comer to have, somebody who wants to be a millionaire?
That's a good question. Sorry, as I'm choking down lunch here, guys. Anyone watch on the feed, lunch today is a Snickers bar and a Pepsi. So I'm going to reverse the question on them. I currently hold a bunch of real estate, and I consider each one of those a different stream, right?
Okay.
Because they don't matter to each other. I also have businesses that I hold, but I just challenge it this way. Find out how to make $100 in passive income. And then next month, figure out how to make another 100. And at the end of 6 months, man, you got $600 coming in passively. That's life-changing. From there, how do I get to 1,000? My business here this weekend, we're literally having a record-breaking weekend this weekend, right now as we sit here. So I purchased a business that wasn't producing well. I put some effort into it, and now we're already we're like 40 days in, and I'm already got them at the top of what they'd previously done.
All right.
I continue to grow that. So I wouldn't challenge hey, go out and develop 5 streams at the same time. Go develop one. Go buy a lemonade stand, and if that makes cash flow, then you're good.
Got it. And to your piggybacking off your statement now, you stated you recently bought a business, and because of your input into the business, it's now prospering more than prior to your purchase. Could you speak? I believe that's the Jerk Shack restaurant you just bought, right?
Yeah. So I've got anyone in the Myrtle Beach area. I'm now the proud owner of JB's Jerk Shack.
If you went to South Carolina, pull up, man.
We're technically in Surfside, but not the Myrtle Beach for anyone further out. You guys come to town, man. I talk real estate literally every day, and I'd love to see you here.
Got you, man. All right, I have question number 2. Now, you stated a little earlier you're kind of backing off real estate a little because of the market, right? So the question here is, prior to you backing off, which division of real estate were you focused on and why? Were you more so of a wholesaler? Were you more so of a fix and flipper or a buy and hold investor?
No. So I'm the cash flow guy. Like, all I care about is cash flow. In fact, every American's only problem is a cash flow problem. Why are Americans in debt? Because they're spending more than they're making. So if they had a higher cash flow, they wouldn't be in that situation. So I'm always going to be that buy and hold investor. My buddy Jay Parker loves to tell us a analogy, and it's, if you're fishing, say I don't fish, but if I'm fishing for trout, right, and I catch a bass, I got to be able to call someone up that buys bass so I can make money off my effort.
Correct.
It's the same thing in real estate. I'm always looking for my next deal. But when the deal comes across and it's not for me, I have to be able to roll that out to somebody else and wholesale that out to recoup the expense of funding.
Correct.
So my primary mission is buy and hold. I always want to increase my cash flow. But if I can't increase my cash flow, I want to increase my cash on hand via wholesaling or partnering with another individual.
Okay. And just for the people, I know a lot of people that follow me or listen to me, they may or may not know specifically what cash flow means because it's like, it may fall under the term of real estate jargon. If you could break down as if you're talking to somebody who has no idea what cash flow means, what is cash flow exactly?
Brother, I love being simple. I should figure out who this quote's by, but I think it's Einstein has a quote that says, if you can't explain something simply, you simply don't understand it well enough. Cash flow is an easy one, guys. What that means is, in my term, what that means is I put money into a thing, say $1,000 for simple math, and then it produces $100 a month, right? So I've put in money to get a return of cash flow. I've invested 1,000 to get back 100. Those are the type of opportunities we do. And I joke about a lemonade stand, but if I could buy a lemonade stand for like $2,000 and it would make me a couple hundred a month, that would be a cash flow purchase.
Got it. All right. So basically anything that brings you any kind of return on your original investment, mostly your cash flow.
Yeah. And most people are going to consider that like passive cash flow. So like rentals, as long as you have it managed by a professional, that's then that passive cash flow. The cash flow I'm generating in my business is a little more time intensive. So I wouldn't classify it as passive, but it's dramatic increase. I bought this restaurant at a supreme undervalue.
Got it.
Because I bought it during COVID, because of XYZ, I was able to buy it at a really great discount.
Amazing.
When I turn around in 2 years and go to conventional financing, I'm going to have at least a 300% increase in value. At least.
Buy it. And then, like you said, that's not a time sensitive thing. That's something that you know is going to pan out over a course of time.
Time is going to pass. I might as well be the one to take advantage of it.
Facts, man. We got another question here. And this one's, I know you may or may not be a fan of this question, but I got a lot of my ideologies from you. This one is from a fan and me combined. For up and coming couples, married or not. So whether you're married or not, how do you personally feel about joint bank accounts and or starting a business together without the actual note if you guys are going to go all the way or be together? How do you feel about that? Because I know you're a fan of a couple of businesses.
That's a bunch of great questions kind of there. So I'm going to tackle them kind of individually. One, when you've been together for a minute, you should be having a joint bank account. If there's like I'm going to back up. I think you should ask somebody if you're going to get married 3 times. The first time is, hey, are we heading in that direction?
Okay.
The second time is, hey, are we going to do this? And the third time is like, here's a ring. Right? Like, and so the first time is kind of a little passive, like, hey, are we enjoying each other's company? Cool. When you're like, hey, are we going to do this? So the second time, that's where I might be like, hey, now we need to start lining up our finances. We need to start getting things together. For sure, if you're married, you should have a joint bank account.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole level of trust. I sit in here, and I was here the other night, and I talked to somebody, and they don't have a joint bank account, and they've been married for years. And I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
At least to me. And then I saw someone else who was sitting with a date, and dude, literally, she's asking something, and dude literally turns around and is like, hey, mind your own fucking business. And you're like, I don't know that you should be having a relationship with somebody like that.
Yeah.
So that's like answer 1. Answer 2, Taylor should never be a relationship counselor. But here's why. If your significant other is not your number 1 fan, quit what you're doing today. Just stop. Because when it gets rough and they're not there to support, you're going to quit anyways.
Facts.
So either the relationship is the most important thing to you, which it should be, and that person supports you 100%. Either the relationship is the most important thing and quit what you're doing, or your passion is the most important thing and you should find someone who supports you 100%. I will tell you that I did number 2. At one time I was with somebody that didn't support my vision, my dream, and my family's generational wealth is too important to let somebody else dictate where my family was going to be. And I would have had to quit, who I was becoming. And for me, that wasn't the right answer. Other people are going to have other answers for them, but basically, to just run that out entirely, if they don't support your dream, consider bringing them in and like explain to them why you're passionate about it. But at the end of the day, one of 2 things is going to happen: they're going to quit, or your dream's going to quit,
or they're going to collide. It's going to be bad.
Well, that's it. They're never going to work. One of them is going to end up filing out. And so I'm very blessed that I have an awesome support system, and my wife and me are extremely aligned. So, the time I got to dedicate here, and she's, watching our little dude. In fact, this weekend she's actually out of town, so I'm pulling double duty. But it's because we have that aligned vision that in the short term, we can be a little impatient, but in the really long term, we're like, man, we're building this for 300 years. That hard work.
You had that conversation about generational wealth with your wife now about date 4 or 5.
Something like that. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We pretty. We were older when we met. Like we were 30 something, and so your relationship moves a little faster at that age, anyways, because like you've seen the bull, and so when someone shows up and starts literally there were first dates that I was never rude enough to walk out on. But by 10 minutes into the first date, I'm like, hey, you're not getting that second one.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I know what you mean.
And our time, man, as entrepreneurs, our time is super valuable. And
Facts.
so we do have to dedicate time. Like me and my wife have date night. Every Monday night is date night with me and my boss and the boss. But you have to dedicate the time to find the right partner. And as soon as you know they're not, like this is a time game. Hey, honey, I appreciate you're fun people, but you're not the one I'm going to build the empire with. You're not the one traveling the world with me. Me and my wife literally travel the world.
Fire, man. I love shit like that.
That individual.
I love shit like that, man. I love watching couples fly the world and do businesses together. And that's one of the main reasons I'm a big fan of you, because that's all you really advocate, man. You advocate freedom, you advocate entrepreneurship, you advocate love and the proper ways of business. And ever since then, I was like, yo, I like this guy, and I like your brother as well. I like how both of you guys move together in a tandem. I like how it's all in the family. And to piggyback off of my statement just now, you mentioned earlier your parents. You said they were teachers, right?
Yep.
And you mentioned that they may or may not have given you the proper wherewithal to go about your financial freedom. I have a similar story. Could you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah. And so I'm going to step back one step from this before I make the following statements. When we got started with this, entrepreneurial lifestyle and really being open about our story and sharing, we had to pull our parents, both of them, aside and say, guys, we're going to say things that sound derogatory, and they're not intended that way. Mom and dad taught us literally the best they knew and gave us everything they could do. And like, I tell a story sometimes about mom giving me like 50 cents for lunch at school because it's all she had to give me. And like, could I have been a jerk and been like, yo, I need $3 to actually buy lunch? Or I just accepted and said, hey, thanks for everything you gave me. And so they didn't know. They thought that it was go to school, get a good job, work for 40 years, get a gold watch, and retire. And we just know there you go. We just know that's not the case anymore. And, you can go from being broke to owning $1 million in real estate in 2 years. You could. It's all about how many sellers are you willing to talk to? How many opportunities are you willing to talk to? Every person I talk to, I'm looking for how to add value to them or how can they add value to me?
Vice versa. Absolutely. Next question. And I have a similar statement as well. My father was actually a real estate investor. My mother was a nurse. However, my father, and they did an amazing job. Like you said, when you're on this journey and you start telling everybody your story, sometimes it come across as a little derogatory, but it's not in no way negative. It's just you examining what happened, you understanding and learning for yourself and seeing how it went. So
it's
my
almost
father was an investor as well, but he never really sat me down and taught me how to do it. I had to sit back and watch it. I watched it. I watched you. I watched everybody, and that's how I go about it. But definitely, I agree 10,000% with that, man.
It was almost like the rich dad, poor dad thing, where my mom and dad were the poor dad. They worked their butts off. Dad worked. My work ethic is from him. Dad would go to school. He taught adults, so he'd teach all day the regular shit. Go grab lunch, and then he'd go home, come back and teach the evening shifts as well. So he was there from 6 a.m. till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and that's not counting the hour drive each way. So like, he taught me, the poor dad version of it because he didn't know the rich dad version.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I bumped into a bunch of people that knew the rich dad version and showed me how leverage works, and it's going to change my family tree, and I'm grateful for it. So,
God bless, man. Next question. This is from another fan of the podcast. At what point did you become a millionaire, and do you judge that by assets or dollar amount in the bank?
It'll never be dollar amount in the bank. Taylor Peugh is the brokest person on the planet.
You got it.
I guess by that definition, I will never be a millionaire. I will control things in trusts and other other legal entities, but Taylor Peugh will always be broke.
Got it.
The family will inherit millions of dollars in assets that are in other legal entities that I might or might not control. But I honestly believe that millionaire is a mindset.
I agree 10,000%, 10 million% actually.
Elon Musk sold PayPal, or what would become PayPal, made $70 million, put, I'm going to misquote the numbers here probably, but the whole point is he put 40 million into SpaceX and 30 million into Tesla, and then had to borrow money for rent.
Facts, man. I seen that. I seen that. I think I post that about at least twice a week, man. It's like my Bible scriptures.
Here's the deal. It's not about money. It's about the lifestyle you lead, the people you are service to, and the legacy you lead. And so I've owned millions of dollars worth of real estate by this point. One parcel alone was $1 million parcel. So, that type of thing. It's important to take like a benchmark every once in a while and make sure you're going up.
Yeah.
For me, it'll never be money in the bank because one, your money sitting in the bank actually loses value.
Absolutely.
So if it's sitting there not producing, not pulling in more and more, then you're losing value on it. The other side of that is that, the assets are going to be what they are. So this business, my son, if I pass away tomorrow, my son will inherit this business.
Beautiful.
And there's just power in that. There's people who eat here every day, who work at high-paying jobs, and when they pass away, their replacement will be in the newspaper the same day as their obituary.
That's correct, man.
Their family can't inherit that. My family will inherit this $1 million asset if I died tomorrow. So,
man, I want to repeat that for those in the back. I didn't hear it. My family will get this $1 million asset if I die tomorrow. I can't shit like that, man. I wish everybody shared this similar mindset because I used to do a probate a lot in wholesaling, right? And I would go look up the people who have probate, and it was a very low percentage of people who left something for the children.
Yeah.
Only thing left was bills, man.
They think the investment is their one primary residence. And the only reason your primary residence is an investment is because it goes up in value. But as you pay down the mortgage. But what if you get, so really what is the value there is the time, right? It's not the house, it's the time difference between when you bought it to when you sell it. And so, well, how do we buy time machines? What if instead of doing one, we had two? So now time is twice as valuable. Well, what if you get 5? Now time is 5 times valuable. And so the magic of real estate is time. Well, what if you made time more valuable by having more than one of them?
Yeah, man. That's amazing, man. I never heard anybody put it like that. What if you had a time machine? What if you bought a time machine?
I have many of them.
You have many time machines. I love that shit, man. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. All right, next question. This is actually my question. You raise private money for your business now, correct?
I have never put $1 of Taylor Peugh's own money into any deal I've ever done.
Okay. He has never used his own money. Now I have a question. This is a 2-part question.
Okay.
For your own, you have friends that you grew up with that now see that you're quote unquote successful.
Yep.
Right. These friends also see that you raise money for these deals. Do these friends that are not in real estate? This is a lens question. Do they ask you to borrow money, and what is your response to them and why?
Do they ask to borrow money from me?
Yeah. Like a friend, like a high school friend.
So some people have, and I'll just leave it at it's situation dependent. There's people we've helped and that'll never be made public, and there's people I don't know that I've helped. People don't know that I've helped them. By the same token, like there's people I don't know that I've helped. There's people that don't know that I've helped them because they might have thought they won something they didn't. That got it. What they magically needed, or they might have had something show up on their front porch.
Got you.
Exactly what they needed, and then there's other people that directly asked for help, and I felt that they had put in the work to earn it. I'm never going to be, or almost never, am I going to give money to someone standing on a corner. because you're not attracting the energy the universe requires. The universe requires payment. Nothing is free.
Nothing is
this. The hamburger you got isn't free. It was just paid for by somebody else. The universe requires energy to provide that value back. And so someone standing in a corner isn't producing the vibrations required by the universe to get rewarded.
Got it.
But then there's other people who
I like that,
work
man.
really, really hard at low-income jobs, and they require some good rewards. I was driving across the country one time, and I stopped and been driving all day. It was across Tennessee. And so whatever the east, on Highway 40, whatever the east side of Tennessee is, it was literally on the border. Some little rinky-dink diner. I stopped for the night, and I think my bill was all of $30, maybe, 2 burgers and a soda. And I gave that lady $100 tip because she had the energy that deserved it.
Got it. Got it, man. That's amazing, man. Everything you're saying, for the most part, I can tell you I comprehend, but the way you're describing it is ways I never heard it before. The time machine, the person sitting in the corner is not giving the energy that's needed in the universe to receive it. I love that shit, man. That's a valid point.
Yeah, let me hit one more statement on that, and that's the universe has no choice but give me every day what I want.
Facts.
For those that are gonna watch the video replay, I'm gonna show you a little exercise I do. I close my eyes, and I take deep breaths in and out, and so now I'm visualizing as I draw in. I visualize money flying towards me.
Okay.
And then when I release, when I breathe out, I visualize money exploding away from me and providing value to people around me.
Amazing.
And so you just close your eyes for a good 10, 15 breaths, visualize the money coming towards you, and then giving it back out. Part of that, and as a culture, we have a problem where we walk by change on the ground. If you're not willing to pick up a penny, why would the universe give you $1? If you're not willing to pick up $1, why is the universe going to give you $10? Because you refused a penny, right? If you're not going to appreciate the little things, don't expect the big ones.
You're not going to expect the big facts, man.
You see a penny, Taylor Peugh picks it up and loudly proclaims, "I am a money magnet."
Loudly.
You're like, this dude's freaking out about a penny. No, Taylor Peugh is excited. The universe gave him another penny.
Got it. I'm going to start repeating that same thing. I like it, man. Next question. How has the pandemic affected your bottom line, if at all?
Brother, give me 12 seconds.
Take your time, brother.
I'm going to, sorry, for anyone watching on the intermission here, I'm just going to find a quieter spot. I feel like the downstairs is getting a little busy, which is good. All right, intermission's over. Ask the question again, sorry.
How has the pandemic affected your bottom line, if at all?
It's gone up. We've gotten busier. We'll talk about real estate world because that's where a lot of your clientele is going to be. There's a stat that something like 30% of all mortgages didn't make a mortgage payment last month.
Shit.
3 out of 10. So there's a lot of people who need our help, and you need to be in a position to give assistance to those folks. So if you don't know what we're doing yet, guys, can I plug a different entrepreneur? Is that okay for you?
No, please, absolutely.
So, guys, if you don't know what you're doing yet, go jump on Max's feed, Max Maxwell YouTube, how to start wholesaling. Like, get you some education. In first quarter 2021, Taylor Peugh, hand to the Bible here. First quarter 2021, there are going to be millions of people that need our help.
Mm-hmm.
All these people that are going to get evicted, all these landlords that aren't getting paid, all these mortgages that aren't getting paid, team, it's got to come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be the federal government bailing people out. It's going to be the banks coming and saying, "I want my money." The landlord showing up and saying, "I want my money." And if you're in a situation to help those individuals, you should be, the universe has no choice but to reward you for the energy of helping other people.
I agree. Again, 10 million%, man. We've been talking for a half hour and you haven't said one sentence that I don't agree with, man.
I love it. I love it.
Again, I like where you're putting it too. I'm still stuck on the time machine thing. I'm gonna emphasize that wherever I go now.
I'm gonna throw that one on Facebook. That one, I haven't used that one before. I'm gonna keep using that one. To the question on the business side, for anyone wanting to know on that side, some of our businesses have had to close because they're in-home service businesses, and well, you're not doing that anymore. And so we had to redeploy kind of some of those assets to other places. And it allowed us to step back and look at what we were doing, what was working, what wasn't, and recognize the positive. So it allowed me to find this business, which has skyrocketed another avenue of income.
Because you are demanding from the universe what you want, and it's paying you back plus.
It has no choice.
It has no choice. I agree.
When you walk around today with who can I help, who can I add value to, one, you find people to be of service to, which in a very petty way feels good to me. So I help because it feels good to me. I was helping a dude change his tire one time, and about 5 times he was like, hey, it's this really old guy, like 70 something, 80 something. And couldn't have changed his tire, I promise. I'm not judging him. He just couldn't have done it. I'm not going to pay you. Okay, buddy, got it. 5 more times. I'm not going to pay you. When I got done, he's like, here's $20. Brother, I was really clear. I'm not taking your money. I am doing this because I'm required. The universe requires me to be of service to receive what I need.
Got it.
It's part of who we are.
Nah, I agree, man. That's funny as hell. He gave you the 20 after all that?
He like felt bad like 5 times, and he was really kind of snotty about it. Like at one point I was like, all right, bro, hey, I'm just going to leave it here. Sounds like you got this figured out. And anyways, finished changing his tire, and then he tried to give me money. Anyways, I'm like, bro, I was really clear. This is for me. It's not for you. I wanted to change your tire. It makes me feel good about my day, and I had the extra time.
Got it.
It amazed me, like in that same vein, like how often the universe puts me in the right place at the right time.
It's never about coincidence either.
Ever. How often I'm in the right place at the right time to be of service to someone. And it's any number of things. You go to the gas station, the person in front of you in line pays, I want $3.47 in gas. There's only one reason they're saying that amount.
Yep.
Because they ain't got another dollar to their name. In fact, that's the exact story. And so as they run out the door, I slide a 20 to the cashier and tell her to put to put another 20 on it. And she's like, okay, hey, whatever. The lady walks, I happen to be on the pump next to her. The lady walked out and she just puts it on autofill like everyone else does. And it cranks up. And she gets to $18 and gets a full tank out of it.
Yeah.
She's like freaking out that she had just stolen gas, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to cue her to go back inside and get the change, but she didn't want to get in trouble. She's like, oh my gosh, I just got a bunch of free gas. I'm like, yeah, maybe you should go inside and get your change. She would have getting about $5 back. And so after going back and forth with her a couple times, she's like, no, I'm just going to take off. And like kind of disappointed, I checked back in and like, hey guys, can I get her change? Thanks. We've all been in that situation. And so it's cool to be able to be of service to people who are out there grinding. There was another dude, gas station story again. Guy pulls up in a sedan, and he's got a lawnmower hanging out the back of his car. He obviously runs a landscaping business, and he ain't got no way to get around but his little sedan that doesn't fit a lawnmower. So I walk over and take a $20 bill and I slide it between the door handle, like the little gap between the door handle and the frame. So when he goes to open his door, he's going to find $20.
Fire.
Like
fire, man.
And without getting too spiritual about it, I think I'm called to be an angel to other humans. So when I get the prompting, I just follow through with it.
No, I agree. I agree 10,000%. I actually have a gas station story myself. I was in Miami, and this elderly lady was arguing with the cashier about like $10 gas. Yep. I just happened to have a 20 on me. I gave her the 20. I said, you could just have the 20. And she looked at me so shocked, and she gave me like the biggest hug, man. It was like a 10-second hug. Yeah. I felt good. I felt better about the hug than I did about the actual favor I did. I didn't expect it.
We should tell the story the other way about how you paid $20 to buy a hug, and some lady got free gas out of it. That's how we tell that story. Hey, we're put in a situation to be of service. Is there times that I've let down on that? 100%. I used to break ATMs a lot because I use a lot of cash, and ATMs aren't built to take a lot of cash. They're built to dispense a lot.
Yeah.
There's something I could do a video on how to break Bank of America's ATM because their coding is wrong.
Okay.
I literally know the exact process. If you do this and this and this, it'll break their ATM. But I got I'll call the word integrity checked 3 times in 10 minutes between ATMs.
Okay.
I went over to Wells Fargo, and the person in front of me left their account open and drove away. And so I pushed cancel, got on the phone with customer service. They said to put the card in, they'd hold the card. They had a way to like lock the card in or something. So I put the card back in, they kept it. I then pull around to the Bank of America ATM next door. Their ATM is literally unlocked. Like the master lock on the ATM is popped open.
Okay.
And I'm like really uncomfortable about it. I'm like, and that's one where they have like the video chat like this. I'm like, ma'am, I don't know how to say this, but your master lock is unlocked. I'm going to attempt to push it in with you on the phone here, visualizing me do this. So it's not like, hey, I was tampering with the ATM, because that's not what I'm doing. I pushed it in and it happened to lock. Like it has a soda machine lock, how they pop out. I pushed it in and it locked in place. But guys, I got integrity checked twice in 10 minutes by the universe.
That's crazy.
In that case, I passed. There are plenty of other times I probably didn't. But
I like how you put integrity check. I like.
You try to be a better person every day.
I like it, man. I like it, man. Last question for the business. Now you're an owner of the Jerk Shack restaurant again. Plug your business, please.
Oh yeah. So hey guys, we're in Surfside. We do wings, burgers, salads, tacos, sandwiches. We have great appetizers. We're open Tuesday to Sunday, 11:30 to 9. On Friday and Saturday, we're having live music. During the we do Taco Tuesday. We do wings on Wednesday. We do half-price burger on Thursday, and then Friday we do a fish fry. Other than that, I want to be a great place to come with good customer service, great food, and cold beer. Nice, man.
I will definitely come and visit, man. I'll give you like 2 days notice before I come.
Brother, or just show up. I mean, I'm literally like, I want to make sure that everyone has a good time, and I appreciate you sharing me with your audience, and look forward to being of service as best I can. Hey, I'm brave, so if anyone needs to reach me, my telephone number is, grab a pen, 704-728-7880. Call me anytime, shoot me a text, and let me know how I can be of service to you as well.
That's love, man. You heard them, man. That's blessings, man. Taylor, so much. Thank you so much for doing this, bro. Again, I know you didn't have to, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Did you want to plug your Instagram or your Facebook or anything like that?
No, I'm good. Yeah, you can cut it off right where you did.
All right, brother. God bless, man. Thank you, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me on. If anything else comes up, you know where I'm at. And funny side story you can see in here. I know he's not going to watch it, so it doesn't matter. But last deal I closed, my lawyer closed it for free for me.
Wow.
And I kept hounding him to give me an invoice so I could pay him. So what do people do to return value to other people? I went out and bought him this awesome bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
And so the next person that comes up here, I'm gonna have them escort it back home to my lawyer for me.
Nice, man.
Because you got to return value where value is given.
Nice, man.
So, all right, brother. Hey, if you need something, hit me up. I appreciate you sharing me with your audience, and look forward to watching you grow as well, brother.
Thank you, man. Blessings, man. Blessings to your family. I hear that.
Anything I can do for you right now?
Not right now, man. You've done enough just by being on it and sharing your presence, brother. Thank you so much, brother.
Yes, sir. We'll catch up soon.
All right, man.